Welcome to your behind-the-scenes preview of Bell Witch, the movie, the best family-friendly, scary movie of the year. Hi, I'm your host, Phil Campbell, and in the next 30 minutes, I'll take you behind the scenes to meet the cast and crew of Bell Witch, the movie, including our own fabulous witch, Betsy Palmer, the Queen of Scream herself from Friday the 13th. We'll show you just exactly what it took to make this story come to life, and we show you just how easy it is to get your own copy of Bell Witch the movie. So sit back, relax, and prepare for the fright.
It's another beautiful rainy day in Tennessee, and I mean that.
Positions, lock it up. Lock it up, please. Picture is up. Quiet, please, at base camp. Slate in. Roll camera.
And eyes are wide, and action.
I am a spirit. I was once very happy, but I have been disturbed.
There's nothing quite like a little fright, and Bell Witch the movie certainly delivers. But the great thing about Bell Witch the movie is it uses an old Hollywood style of telling a scary story. There are no slasher scenes, no blood and guts, no vile language. It's the sort of a motion picture you can sit down and enjoy with everyone. It's a family-friendly horror classic.
You can go into the hills where an old church used to stand. Nothing but a rock pile sits on the sacred land. Get down on your knees, be quiet, don't say a word. You'll hear a voice of old crying out to the Lord.
I've come for you, John. I will kill you.
In the hills on your knees, a lonesome rainy night.
Bell Witch the movie stars the legendary Betsy Palmer as the voice of the Bell Witch. You probably remember Betsy as Mrs. Voorhees in the horror classic Friday the 13th, or from Queen Bee with Joan Crawford, or with Henry Fonda and Mr. Roberts, or on The Today Show, or I've Got a Secret. From the very beginning, Betsy's portrayal of the Bell Witch sets the tone for the entire film.
John Bell, for within your grave I dwell, guiding you through the pits of hell. 107 years shall pass till some think of me no more. Your children's children, fast asleep, into their rooms I will creep, to rustle the shutters and shake their bed, and finish not until they're dead. I am a spirit. I was once very happy, but I have been disturbed.
You know, casting a movie is a little bit like mixing a potion. It requires a perfect combination of actors and a really great script to make that story really come to life.
I'm John David Hart, and I play the part of John Bell. John Bell, a tortured man, a family man, a good man who's a member of the community church. He has a family, a wife, and 3 kids. He's a farmer from 1817, but he's in a predicament. He is tortured by a witch who calls herself Kate.
Someone's choking you. Ain't nobody here, Paul.
How about you, all right?
The auditions for the movie was in Sevierville, and my agent called me and she said, hey, while you're in Gatlinburg on vacation, so close to where these auditions are, would you like to go and audition for the part of John Bell? And I said, well, yes, absolutely I would. And I don't know if I'd have gotten the call if I had still been in Nashville. But so I call that serendipity, my good fortune. All my preparation for what I'm going to do on the set each day is done the night before. I study the script, I study my character, and visualize what I'm going to be creating the next day for each scene. And I don't concentrate too much on that. I just want to get a feel for it and a vision in my head, and then let the character take its natural progression while we're shooting.
We're friends, right, James?
Well, of course we are, John.
And you wouldn't judge me, would you?
Well, definitely not.
There's evil living in my house, my family and me. And I don't know what it is. I don't know what it wants. And I don't know how to get rid of it.
Also, another scene that just before we got ready to shoot, the director, Mr. Shane Marr, who I have great respect for, said, we want to stretch this out, and could you maybe ad-lib and improvise a little bit on this? But while you're improvising, I do want you to say A, B, C, and D. Oh yeah, and don't forget E. So, and that was great, because I love to improvise, because then for sure you're not acting, you're reacting, and you're reacting to your thoughts, and the character flows very naturally that way. Everybody on this set was wonderful. I have a lot of new friends that I dearly love. Everybody, and I'm thankful that they selected me to play John Bell.
I play the character Kate Batts, and her goal in life is to make John Bell's life a hell on earth. She stays on him the whole time. Every encounter they have, she's ready to take him out. So that's the character that I play.
I need to talk to you, Belle.
Well, hello to you, Mrs. Batts.
We haven't yet settled our business.
Now, you're mistaken, Kate. I squared that deal with your husband last week.
Don't talk to me as if I know nothing. My husband doesn't handle any of our business affairs. He wouldn't know what to do.
The storyline from Kate's perspective would be that her husband is an invalid and kind of not got all his wits about him anymore. He's at home most of the time, and she thinks that in a deal with John Bell that she's been cheated on land purchase, and she sets out, that's her main goal throughout the whole storyline, is to set things right, and John continues to deny it, and so she takes this matter before the church, which in that time period that's what you did, you know. You brought the elders together, and they helped make a decision. She does succeed in having John excommunicated, but then in her own absence she ends up getting kicked out of church herself. So she's got one mindset throughout the whole movie, the whole story. There's tales that Kate collected bits of hair and also was obsessed with collecting people's clothing, so I think the pins are just one facet of her compulsive, freaky behavior. When I first encountered the Bell Witch story, this legend scared me, shook me the first time I read the book, and I hadn't really thought much about it, but getting involved in the making of the film and so forth, and reading more and seeing how the legend has sort of perpetuated itself, it's a fascinating story, and yeah, it's kind of scary. Yeah, I've had a couple of close encounters with the spirit world myself, and unexplained forces and beings, and so yes, I believe the spirit world is alive and well.
My name's Donna K. Pearson, and I play Lucy Bell, the devoted wife and mother of the Bell family. Well, luckily enough, being that it was a movie about a family in Tennessee in the late 1800s, that just sort of fit right in with me because I was born and raised on a farm with my grandparents here in Tennessee, so I didn't have to change the way I talked or the way I looked or anything like that. So just the fact that I had to learn to be a mother, I think, was the hardest thing, but the motherly instincts kind of kicked in, especially after I met all three of the children. It would have to be John's death scene, only because to me it's kind of funny. During the filming, and we had already filmed that scene, my husband takes NyQuil every now and then at night before he goes to bed, and he had asked me to bring him his dose of NyQuil. And as I was pouring it and walking into the bedroom to give it to him, I thought, once he sees this movie, he will never let me bring him medicine again. But just the eeriness of that particular scene, it was kind of scary doing it, you know, making the hair stand up on your arms and everything.
Well, my name is Richard Powell, and I play this, for lack of a better word, sinister school teacher that is, let's just say, interested in this younger girl named Betsy Bell, and well, her father doesn't like that very much. And well, I teach my school. I'm very happy. I'm kind of a control freak, kind of passive aggressive, and I just play this passive aggressive guy that, you know, kind of wants to rule the world, but is kind of stuck in this place. And I demand
Close your books.
I demand attention, and I obviously get it with my classmates, but I don't get much of it outside the schoolhouse.
Good morning, Professor Powell.
Now, you know there's to be no outside distractions when you come to school. You come here for an education, not to play games.
The Bell Witch is, there's a lot of stories. I don't know if there's one particular. There's a lot of different versions of it, I think. From what I gather, it's just this voice. It's this spirit that has somehow, some way haunted this area for quite some time, since early 1800s to this day. I don't think the legend necessarily scares me. It interests me, intrigues me. You know, there's a lot of power behind this story, and if I'd say 30% of it, if it's true, that does scare me. About 30%. If it is true, yeah, it scares the hell out of me, to be quite honest. Yeah, if it is true. All right, I've come clean. I'm scared of Kate. Help! Well, the hardest scene that I thought I was going to have to shoot was all the scenes with Betsy Bell, because, you know, in the script it says it was going to be with a 14-year-old girl, and I mean, you know, Mom wouldn't have been very proud of that, that's for sure, and it's completely against my morals. But now that, you know, you cast a girl that, you know, just looks very young, it just makes me feel more comfortable with it. I mean, it's I'm just so relieved. I mean, I've had a really good time on the set, and I've never been more calm, and everybody's great to work with. Well, let me tell you one thing. This is just the story of me actually landing. I landed in Nashville, and I took a nice 2-hour drive to Knoxville, and it was beautiful. Smoky Mountains, beautiful. I've only driven through once before. My favorite show is The Twilight Zone, TV show of all time. I told you this, as I said before. When I drove on just this actual, what do you call this thing, the compound or where we're shooting, I felt like I was in the scene. I was living a scene of The Twilight Zone, because Dustin just kept driving, you know, to location after location, and they're all real. I mean, it's 1918, I mean, whenever these buildings were built, but it's real, and that's when I really felt the presence of just this story. Because it's when you go on a Hollywood movie set, you walk into this big sound stage and everything is, you know, lumber and stuff. But this is like, I mean, we've got mud here. This is like serious mud right now. You know what I'm saying? I feel one with the whole script and the whole movie, and it's just a really exciting experience to be on this earth, this little section of the earth right here, shooting a movie.
Actually, I'm here in Tennessee. Beautiful, beautiful Tennessee, outside of Knoxville. And I'm in a studio, wonderful studio. a young man by the name of Shane Marr, M-A-R-R, and Doris and Stephen Marr, and they are the producers of Bell Witch, the movie. And I got a call from my agent. Well, what happened? I got a call from my agent, and he said, some people want you to do a voiceover in a movie called The Bell Witch, and he said, you don't want to do that, do you? And I paused for 1 second, and I said, why wouldn't I want to do it? And he said, well, he said, it's a voiceover, and you have to fly to California. And I said, no. I said, I do want to do it. And I love to do voiceovers, and I love to read. I do reading for the blind, dyslexic, recording and all. And I said, no, I want to. A little voice inside of me was saying, yes, say you'll do it. So within a matter of just a couple of days, I'm winging my way to Los Angeles and going to meet these people that I have never met. But Shane's mother, Doris, had called me on the phone. What had happened was that on that Halloween, prior, that was last year, I guess, prior to October the 30th, 31st, E had come around and they were doing a program called Scream Queens. And they had come away with their picture, Bell Witch, the movie, that had been shot here in Tennessee. And they were in post-production and all of that, and they still hadn't found anyone. Shane had not heard the voice that he thought was the right voice for the Bell Witch. And he evidently had taped the Scream Queens on E and was kind of going through it at another point in time, and all of a sudden in doing something else and heard my voice. And he looked up, and there I was talking about Friday the 13th. And he went out to his parents and said, that's it. There's the woman with the voice I want. And so what happened was that she called me on the phone after I had said yes. And we became almost sister sort of buddies right on the phone. It all worked out to be something like we'd all met before in another lifetime and all have been together before. It's one of those things that happen in your life if you're fortunate and you touch base from another time, another place, and revive old feelings and thoughts. And that's how it came to do this beautiful movie. Just a lovely, lovely movie.
Boy, tunes really stick with you. They bring back great moments in time and provide a soundtrack for life. Bell Witch the movie is loaded with great songs, original songs written just for this film, plus traditional bluegrass and Americana songs that you know and love. Not only is Bell Witch the movie packed with these great songs, but you can also enjoy them on Bell Witch the soundtrack. It includes all 19 original and traditional songs featured in Bell Witch the movie.
19 Bluegrass and Americana songs drive Bell Witch the movie. Now you can own them all on the soundtrack from Bell Witch the movie. This soundtrack has received praise from the country and bluegrass community and has been compared to Oh Brother Where Art Thou. Hear these great songs from Jimbo Whaley and Greenbrier, Valerie Smith and Liberty Pike, the Jeff and Vita Band, the Jeanette Williams Band, Becky Buller, and the Wells Family. A must-own, soon-to-be classic. And after you have seen the movie, read the book by renowned author Dr. Robert Mahan, based on the screenplay by S. Shane Marr and Jay Guffey. Dr. Mahan brings the legend off the page as he weaves the historical tale of the Bell Witch into 1930s Appalachia and descendants of John Bell's lives. Read it if you dare. Order Bell Witch the soundtrack, Bell Witch the book, or Bell Witch the movie special edition DVD at www.bellwitchstore.com and enjoy the complete Bell Witch the movie experience.
Horror Review says Bell Witch the movie is a family-friendly film that will give you chills, so grab some popcorn and throw in Bell Witch the movie.
Sleep tight tonight. Remember, the Bell Witch is the original bump in the night. We hope you've enjoyed this behind-the-scene look at Bell Witch the movie, the best family-friendly, scary movie of the year. Ordering is easy, so get your copy of Bell Witch the movie today. I'm Phil Campbell. I'll see you in the movies.